Today, for Silver Circle's YouTube update, I actually wanted to sit down and talk to a friend of mine, Drew Phillips, who is representing the Silver Calculator app for smartphones. And the reason why I'm doing this interview to begin with is because I find this very important for all of our followers, and I really think it's a great tool to get out there and spread within our audience, as well as people everywhere who are interested in physical silver, gold, etc. So, Drew, thanks for sitting down and talking to me today.
No, thanks for having me here, Megan.
Yeah, so I wanted to just kind of get down to the skinny of it because it's an application I use on a almost daily basis, I think. And I wanted to know kind of where the idea came from.
Well, sure. It's no secret that your film was certainly part of the inspiration for the app. It was about November, December of 2010, and we were looking at silver, and we were looking at sort of ways to encourage people to use silver, and sort of the benefits of using silver, and how to better educate people to silver. And we started what was called the wallet voting campaign. And basically, we were just throwing a lot of ideas out how to encourage people to use silver or just buy more of it. And one thing that came up was circulated U.S. coins are sort of difficult to figure out what they're worth with the changing value of silver. So some nerds came together and said, what if we had a spreadsheet and you could sort of change the spot price on the day of silver and get a breakout of what different silver pieces are worth. And that spreadsheet sort of got put out into public domain, and somebody contacted us and said, hey, I'm a Droid developer, and I like your idea, and I'd like to make a Droid app. And I happened to have the weekend off. So, literally 2 weeks later, we were looking at our idea for this app, on our phones at that time. So that's how it started. And from there, over the last almost 2 years now, we've just sort of been developing it and working on it and putting new ideas out there. And we've gotten a really good response from people like you and events like PorkFest where people do use silver in the real world. And to give you sort of an overview of the app, it is not just a general information app or an investment app to give you information about silver and gold. It's more of a point-of-sale system that you can use in your hand when doing day-to-day transactions. So places like PorkFest, if you wanted to buy a hot dog with a silver dime or maybe one of your silver Rebel rounds, you want to know what it's worth with the up-to-minute spot price. So the app gets the information from Kitco, updates about every 5 minutes, and will tell you what these various silver pieces that are in the app are worth. So the silver pieces become more immediately usable, rather than having to look online and do a little bit of math. Right there at your fingertips, you can know what each individual piece is worth at that moment with a given spot price. So that goes to the utility of it, and really it started as an educational campaign. So just helping people get more familiar with silver and how it would be a benefit to them to use it.
So you say you're working with Kitco with this. Is this a collaboration with Kitco, which is one of the largest metal dealers and informational metal websites out there?
No, I wish we were. I have sent them an email, but they offer their data free, so long as we give credit to that, and they're listed on our website and inside the app as to providing us with the information. And they provide that information freely to anybody. So there are other outlets to get that information from.
But you've kind of taken it and put it into a really user-friendly application is kind of what you're saying then. You brought it all to the smartphone, which everyone does everything from their smartphone nowadays. So why not be able to look up the conversion rate of your 1964 quarter that you have, right?
Correct. But a 10th-ounce round, your 10th-ounce rounds are really sort of easy to figure out. It's a tenth, so you just move the decimal place over. But a lot of these circulated coins, and now we're getting into foreign coins, they're 90% silver, so you have to sort of do a little bit of math to figure out what those coins might be worth.
Right.
So the app just takes the up-to-the-minute info from Kitco, does the conversion for you, has a nice user display. You just sort of tap on the different coins that you have, and it starts a running tally of how much all of those coins together are worth. There's also a payment solver page where you can enter a Federal Reserve amount and tell the app what coins you have to make change with, and it'll tell you what coins make a combination of a certain desired amount. So if you wanted to pay a certain amount of Federal Reserve notes for something, this would tell you, how many dimes, quarters, rebel rounds it would take to achieve that price.
Interesting. I haven't used that part of the app yet, so I plan on doing that now that I know. I guess another question just for people listening, you're talking about circulated coins. Just to clarify, you want to just kind of rattle off some of those so maybe people who don't even know about, these 90% silver content coins might be able to pick one up soon.
Sure, and this is probably one of the more educational parts of the project. Before 1965, the U.S. government did mint coins with silver in them. There were 90%. There are some other coins of varying percentages, but any dime, quarter, half, or dollar before 1965 is 90% silver. And they call them junk coins or circulated silver. Junk probably is a word I don't really care for, but basically they've been used, they're worn, they're dinged up and such, and not in the greatest shape, but they still are 90% silver. So the dime has about 2.25 grams of silver in it, and today is worth about $2.20, say. So the reason that we were really attracted to the circulated coins is that it's sort of an instant lesson in inflation. Why is a dime, something that was worth 10 cents in 1965, why is that now worth over $2? Well, that's the lesson of inflation and sort of, the horrible things about our monetary policy, and sort of helps start that conversation with people, really get them scratching their head, why is there such a difference here? And the answer is inflation. So what we've learned is that the United States is not the only country that used to do this. Many other countries used to, mint silver, and then they eventually took the silver out of the coinage, and the same thing has happened. The value of silver has gone up, and now those older coins are worth quite a bit more than their face value. So that's sort of why we focused on that, and we're also very excited to have started adding French coins, similar to the United States circulated coins, and soon Australian coins. So we found this example all over the world, and as we sort of move along with the app, we hope to add more and more of these countries' currencies to sort of show, hey, if you went back to an honest money system, we could be trading with real value once again. But again, we're not sort of waiting for the government to do that. We're encouraging people to just do it with the tools they have now. For example, you guys sell silver rounds, and people can use those as trade units if they like. So it's sort of exciting to see, where this app started and how it's developed into, now on 3 continents.
Right. Yeah, and it's actually funny that you mention all of those countries, because those are some of the top countries we're getting requests to screen our movie internationally. So somebody needs to do some sort of research report on why Australia and France are so enamored with this precious metals, sound money movement, I think. But I guess, what's that?
Well, and that's what we're trying to encourage, because people previously, it was sort of difficult to do barter or exchange with silver in real time, on the fly, out in public. It's sort of something that people just research online and then sell some silver or whatnot. But this, allows people to do it face to face and bring honest transactions back to the marketplace.
Right. So how many downloads have you enjoyed so far with the app? Where are you guys at?
Sure. The Droid app, which has been out longer, it's been out since on the market since about January of 2011, has over 10,000 downloads. That really only equates to about 5,000 active users. But we do get a lot of great feedback in the marketplace. People can leave comments and on our website, and people have said that they do use it daily, especially people who work with silver, maybe in their job, jewelers, stuff like that. But I've heard people say that they'll go to swap meets or, and look for old, silver pieces or different stuff that they can find. And when they're dealing with the person, sometimes they're not completely honest, and the app allows, them to keep the dealers or the salespeople honest with what they have, what it's actually worth. And, no one's saying you can't charge more or a premium or, determine your own pricing for something. But having that, that tool in your pocket, really helps people, keep the seller honest. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback in that direction. The iPhone app that's listed on our website is a bit newer. It only came out February of this year. So not quite as many downloads as the Android version. but we hope that catches up, and we know there are a lot of iPhone users out there, so we're happy to be on that platform. And the two apps do work a little differently. They're sort of just set up differently with the different idiosyncrasies of the operating systems, but they're about the same thing. And if people have feedback, we're more than willing to take it.
Well, here's my feedback. I like using it. I use it actually all the time. I should reword this. Let's say a friend of mine named Susie, for confidentiality reasons, likes to use it for her inventory, her own personal inventory. It's a great way to keep track of all of your own stuff.
Sure.
So Susie really likes it, should I say?
No, well, I'm glad Susie likes it, and that's we were really happy to, like I said, at the time that it was coming out, you guys were pushing on your film hard, and we sort of had no idea what the film would be, but we knew what the concept was. This idea that there were rebels out there using silver, and that was certainly in line with what we were doing. So we were more than happy to add, your 1 ounce and 10th ounce rounds to the app. We sort of have a section in the Android app where we list the generic denominations, 10th ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, and full ounce, and we just, used your images and called that category the silver circles category, just for, just a sort of, hat tip to you guys for all that you're doing to encourage silver barter.
Yeah, and we love that, and there's actually that group is going to keep growing because I know I'm shipping out quite a bit on a regular basis these days. So I imagine more silver calculator apps, especially after this interview. Hopefully a bunch of people download it. But before I get to the details on how all the Silver Circle followers and fans can get the app for themselves on their own smartphone, are there any new updates we can look forward to with the app?
Yes. Like I said, I hope to be working on Australian coins and some other coins from different countries and getting those listed. And then the other project we're working on that we need help with is we're translating the app into various different foreign languages. At the moment, the app is in Spanish, it's in French, and it's in German, as well as English. But we don't speak many other languages outside of that, so if there's anyone out there who can help translate into additional languages, we have sort of a spreadsheet and a way to send you the information and all the words and phrases that need to be translated. And if someone would be willing to help with that, then we would be able to add additional languages as we move along. So we're looking at a global financial tool, or we sort of hope that eventually we'll get to that point.
Right.
I will be biased. I'm an Android user, and I think the Android app is a lot slicker. But
well, go ahead and tell everyone how they can download this awesome app and get the ball rolling on educating themselves on owning and exchanging alternative currency, as well as keeping, like you said, the sellers honest in certain situations.
Sure. The easiest thing to do is to go to the iPhone or Android market and just search Silver Calculator. If you go to our website, which is whatisthiscoinworth.info, there's a QR code in the top right, and if you scan that with your smartphone, it'll take you right to the appropriate market. Like I said, iPhone and Android market, and also our friends at Roberts & Roberts are on those platforms as well. And the same developer has also done a Palm version. So if there's anybody with a Palm OS phone, you can also get an app for that platform. But we just mainly promote the iPhone and Android platforms. So like I said, you can scan that code on the website to get there pretty easily, or it's just it's easy to search Silver Calculator in the market. And like you said, it's an AG logo on both of those.
And say that URL one more time for me.
It's whatisthiscoinworth.info or .com. But
I just want to make sure everyone has that, because I know the first few times I went for it, I said, what is that coin worth?
Yeah, it's sort of
so make sure you try to figure out what this coin is worth.info. And, well, cool. Well, thank you so much. It was good talking to you. And I'm excited to see what happens as this thing explodes into something big. And we'll be sure to have all of our fans know about it so they can be on top of their game whenever it comes to physical silver that they own or should own. And, so hopefully we'll talk to you again soon with maybe some cool updates and maybe collaborate around the release with the application.
Well, I'd love to see them use the app in the sequel to the film, but
There we
we'll talk
go.
about that later.
There we go.